everybody. Welcome to the Energy News Beat podcast. My name's Stuart Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group. I'm here with Joe McClintock at NAPE. How are you today?
Doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely having a blast. Oh, well, thank you very much.
I should have brought mine.
It's an old friend. I've had it for about 20 years. So tell us who you're with.
ILex Energy. We're a privately held, a fairly new company,
Okay.
but we got an all-star team.
Nice. Now, what do you do at ILex?
Well, I'm the CEO and founder, or co-founder,
Okay.
and we developed an incredible project in South Texas.
Nice.
Let's just tell you more about it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, do you think with drill baby drill President Trump hanging around, things are going to happen now, aren't they?
Well, I do, but he kind of sets the tone whether drill baby drill means that exactly or something else. That's to be seen. I think we need a little bit of time to see how that plays out. Obviously, with the capital constraints that we have, with the discipline that we exercised over the last several years, that's not going to go away.
You are dead on right, because it's more drill baby when fiscally responsible.
Exactly, or as I heard someone earlier say, build, baby, build. And I think that makes a lot of sense too. God, our infrastructure is going to enormously help our
Joe, we need build baby build pipelines. And tell you what, oh yes, LNG. Who would have guessed that Biden's administration, because I can't believe it was President Biden putting the ban on it, his administration banned it. And
you believe that? I don't know. I mean, he had to give the approval, and the administration had declared war, I think, on our industry. The demonizing the industry is not the thing they should have done, or the thing we should do now. We should be demonizing each other. If we can't do an all of the above kind of approach,
right,
you're going to be in trouble as a nation. I think one of the smartest things that Trump has done, and he's done a lot, but biggest things he's done is put together a team, and energy, and interior that are superb.
You take a look at Chris Wright, Doug Burgum, and Lee Zeldin. Holy smokes, Batman.
They're the all-star team. I call them the sons and daughters of Issachar.
Oh, wow.
Because the old chronicler said that the sons of Issachar understood the times and knew what Israel should do.
Wow.
I think that's the sons of Issachar. They understand the times. And, one of the things I think we could have to do is not deny global warming.
Right.
I think we need to acknowledge global warming, but not exaggerate it, and certainly exaggerate the causes of it.
Right.
And so...
You mean facts matter, Joe?
I think facts do matter. It's just the EPA's thing that, the social cost of a carbon.
Right.
Of course, the concept's been around for a while. I took that up to $190 a ton, which is incredibly high.
It seems to me that a carbon tax is nothing more than a wealth transfer, in my opinion.
Well, but it doesn't make sense. Let me ask you this: if we were to apply the logic of the social cost of carbon in all of our policy decisions to prescription drugs, what prescription drug would we have today if we only looked at the social cost of the side effects?
We wouldn't.
What do you think we're doing with this? What do you think the social benefit of carbon is?
A lot, because you want to sit back and take a look at whether or not plants actually like CO2.
Well, then, yeah. Look, what about how we have kept the cost of living down in this country? How would we benefit from the fact that we are so competitive on the world stage?
Exactly.
At low cost energy. How do you put a cost on taking people out of poverty?
Well, Joe, we are about to see the converse to go from the most technologically industrial leader, Germany, and see them totally deindustrialized because they're trying to go to carbon net zero by pulling their nuclear plants offline. They're destroying their coal plants, and then they went to 100% renewable, and then the renewable did not work, and then they cannot import Russian natural gas. So we're about to see what happens, and then they're taxing themselves with their carbon taxes.
It's incredible, and one of the things this is going to lead to, this incredible kind of analysis and policy, is that Europe is going to be left behind. And that's sad to see. We need a strong Europe, but Europe is doing it to themselves.
I couldn't, Joe, that is an outstanding way to look at that. And I also am tired of funding the UN, NATO. I think I'm tired of funding those organizations that don't seem to take care of the United States. And I'm more interested in funding things that will help humanity and the United States.
You know, I agree with you, but one of the critical things that I see is that we don't understand that it's a global problem. Global warming is a global problem by definition.
Right.
And yet our scorecards are kept by company.
Right.
Or by country, and we don't look at the whole thing. So what is the scratchy benefit of company A wanting to improve their scorecard so they trade their 50% interest in block A
right
to the IOC in exchange for something else so they can get rid of their flaring? And now it's flared on somebody else's ticket. How do we benefit from that? And how do they get the benefit of that kind of trade? It makes no sense. You should apply that same logic across the board. We're crazy with how we try to manipulate our numbers to account.
I love the way you think, because President Trump even said, does the Great Wall of China hold the coal fumes in?
Not at all. Yeah. So we got a crazy administration. I just love to see that the social cost of carbon be the net cost of carbon, because if you take the net cost of carbon, it'd be a net benefit. Right.
I think so. I like the way you think.
So let's put that into all of our calculations.
You know, Chris Wright, our new energy secretary, is trying to say, let's not do net zero by 2050. Let's do no energy poverty by net 50.
That makes a lot of sense. And that says, sons of Issachar, that's how you get to
great.
That's how you get to a good policy that actually doesn't demonize any of them.
Yep.
I'd say even a clear wind. You don't demonize any of them, but you let them stand on its reliability, all the things that businesses rely on.
Right.
Cost, reliability, and security. Take those into consideration, balance them out, and the winner win, but you don't demonize any of them.
The cost of energy for businesses and the deindustrial pattern that we just mentioned in Germany is playing out in New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, California. And so we're also going to see a migration in the United States of places to people migrating to places where lower energy.
And people are both doing that already.
Yes. So it's going to be, would you rather have a low tax from a big population, or would you rather have a high tax with nobody?
Exactly.
Did I say that correctly?
I don't know about nobody, but not very many.
When you take a look at the patterns of what's going on, I just saw a young lady complaining about her bill in Connecticut. She had a $1,000 electric bill. Her part of her electric bill was $200. Joe, this is absolutely unbelievable. The rest of it, the add-ons was renewable charge, a delivery haul charge, and then $280 of that was paying for people that couldn't afford their bill. So it was more of a communistic look of a power bill, and she couldn't afford that $1,000 bill. And that was in Connecticut.
Well,
isn't that sad?
I think our policy is in good hands.
Yes, I am stunned. I did not have Gazalago on my bingo card when President Trump said, I'm going to take, we're going to take Gaza and then we're going to make it a playground. I did not have that on there. I do laugh. I don't think he's going to do it. I think if you want to look at it, I saw somebody say today, he is saying that so they'll solve it. And I think that's his way of saying, and it's brilliant. Either you solve it or I'll solve it, and you're not going to like how I solve it. So I really think that is President Trump negotiating in the way that only President Trump can negotiate.
It's easily to critique many of his statements. Right. But if you understand this strategy, and you look at the things he does, what he's
exactly. So I took this as A, funny, but B, I think it is a strategy to get them to solve their own problem.
Well, let's hope it works.
I hope it does.
They need it. God bless.
Oh, absolutely. But Joe, we're sitting here talking, what does your deal look like? Let's get into that a little bit.
Yeah, so, when we look at the energy landscape, we come from an oil and gas background. So,
Right.
I mean, we could do renewables or something else, but we're sticking with kind of what we know. And we're naturally gas focused because we think natural gas is the enlightened energy source.
Right.
We think there's room for everything, but we particularly like natural gas, and we've been liking natural gas for a few years. I tell you, if you look around this place today, natural gas is the theme. Natural gas is the theme of this NAPE. And as a consequence, it seems like it's come around to our point of view, but we like natural gas, so we look for that. I think the number one thing that we've done is we've established an all-star team. Our top technical geoscientist was the domain champion in Schlumberger, and he's brought in about a critical thinking and innovative thinking to our business. Our second executive in our business, our chief operating officer, was also with Schlumberger for many years. He started out in wireline engineering, but they recognized his management potential. They put him on the fast track, moved him all over the world with, really great responsibility. Quickly became a vice president. He was an innovator, and he spent some years after Schlumberger, but he brought a wealth of knowledge and experience.
Nice.
And contacts and things of that nature. And so at least 2/3 of us are really bright.
That's great, Joe.
But as to lead this team, what we've done is we have a secret sauce, and our secret sauce is essentially that we would do deep dive studies. We deep dive technical as well as commercial studies.
Right.
We really dig deeply and analyze critically. People that look at our deal so far are amazed at the depth of what we've done. But we do it smart. We have some proprietary workflows in data that we utilize. For example, in seismic, we have our own proprietary attributes. We've some cutting edge attributes. So we believe that our technologies are transformative, and we believe we're kind of ahead of the curve in what we're doing.
Right.
We are we're a small team. It's going to be difficult for us to go to the major resource basics, keep it key.
Right.
Spend a huge amount of dollars. So we're going to the mature areas, but we believe that if you're going to go to the mature areas, you're going to have to bring new technologies.
Exactly.
And that's what we're doing.
You bet.
So we have used that to develop a project in South Texas. It's a gas condensate project.
Nice.
It's low risk. It's very large.
So you've got wells. How many existing pumping wells already?
Well, we haven't drilled yet.
Oh, you haven't drilled yet.
No, we're pre-drilled, but we are an extension of an existing.
Okay.
All right, and
So you already know the offset locations.
we know the offset. We have extremely high quality.
Nice.
170-fold seismic.
Okay.
Which is just extremely high. So we're looking not only at structure, but we're looking at reservoir characteristics because that's important. So we can see porosity and things of that nature.
Nice.
We look at it very granularly. We've validated all of our indirect hydrocarbon indicators that we use by looking at every single data point around it and confirming. So it's essentially 100% validation of every marker that we use. So that gives us a lot of confidence.
Wow, that does. When you sit back and take a look at that, how soon are you looking to raise enough money to start drilling?
Well, we'd actually been trying to raise equity in the form of preferred stock.
Okay.
With family offices primarily.
Nice.
We pivoted to a farm out because we'd heard over and over again that we love you guys, we love what you're saying and everything. It's hard for us to evaluate. You're using such transformative technology.
Right.
It's hard for us to evaluate. Go drill a well and come back to us. We got capital. We're behind you. We just don't want to take that first step.
Right.
So hearing that enough, what we decided to do is to pivot towards selling an asset, which we did really want to do, but then we made that extremely tried to track it up with our deal terms. So it's a 1+1 well.
Okay.
And the first well, we are not charging a penny for the incredible amount of GAG and technical and engineering and legal financial work. There's no cost spec fee.
Right.
It's a third for, so pay 100% to earn a 75%. But though upfront fee, even our leasehold.
Wow.
It's you get a carry on our leasehold. After payout, it reverts to 75% of where we come in shooting. We come in for a deck bill with the 25% working interest, so it's a bird per board to get go. Sorry.
Okay.
And then we have a very attractive option. The option's available if you pay an option fee. So you have 45 days after we have the production test on the first well, $500,000.
Nice.
With that option fee, you get two options. Here at NAPE, we're showing the first option. Well, we have a second option we talked about.
Okay.
The first option is to drill a second well of your choosing and formed by 3D
Nice.
in our initial block.
Okay.
And that second well, we fully expect to be a horizontal well, and the economics of that are astounding.
Okay.
And so if you kind of look at paying the option price and everything, the returns are great on the first well. By the time you do that second well, they're off the charts. So it's extremely attractive returns.
That is pretty cool.
And there is a second option, and that is for a piece of the equity in preferred stock. But importantly, the terms for that are set right now
Okay.
on free drill terms. So therefore, you're going to get the highest valuation for that. Free drill is going to be the same for anybody else. You get preferred terms on the equity well.
Okay. Well, that sounds pretty good. How do people get a hold of you?
Okay, so we're here at NAPE. So hope you can find us here at NAPE. We're in 3452, Route 3452.
Okay.
My name again is Joe McClintock, and my email address is Joe McClintock, that's McClintock, at ILex Energy Corp.com.
All right. That is absolutely fantastic. Well, where do you see 2025 going from here? We're only in February, and I see it taking off through the roof.
There's more energy in this place today than at any time in my memory.
Isn't that wild?
It suggests to me that there has been sort of a almost dormancy in our industry for the last 4 years. And this drill baby drill is not going to cause us to go out and start drilling everywhere. In fact, we want to drill next quarter.
Right.
We've raised 40% of what we need.
Right.
We're trying to raise $4.8 million. We've raised 40% for this first well.
Right.
We're trying to finish it up today. We got some real interest here.
Nice.
Right now, there's room. And
At this moment, there is room.
at this moment, there is room. We want to drill. It's drill ready, so we're ready to start next quarter.
Isn't that great? Well, Joe, thank you so much for stopping by the podcast, and we're going to share this out. My name is Stuart Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group, and this is a wonderful day here at NAPE. Thank you again, Joe, for stopping by. We will see you soon.
You bet.
Thanks.